Welcome to the KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Joshua Robinson. It is warming up outside and the roads are clearing up, but melted snow could freeze later on tonight. So even though it might seem like it's improving, Jeremy Lagout joins us to tell us more about what we need to know as the day moves forward, right?
Yeah, I mean, that is exactly it. Now, as I made my way out just a little bit earlier, roads were seeming just fine. Wet is really the story now. All of that snow from this morning melting across much of the inland northwest thanks to those temperatures starting to rise. You saw the melting snow there downtown, but widespread temps climbing above freezing. We're above freezing in Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, even up towards Sandpoint. You scoot over to Moses Lake and Wenatchee, you're up in the 40s. That's because you didn't see any of that snow early on. So the snow's doing a decent job of keeping our temps a bit cooler. But even as we move through the day, we are still shooting for near 40 degrees. Snow's still coming down farther out to the east, and that's going to be the case through this afternoon. Some of that heads on into this evening, but for now, the snow all done here in Spokane, starting to wind down across North Idaho there as well. So big change. Later, we have the chance of seeing a little bit of activity down in the Palouse over toward Pullman. Maybe Moscow gets in on that. Here in Spokane, we are done for the day and temperatures continue to rise. So that means everything melts, but here's the concern. We go from near 40 degrees later on this afternoon to temperatures quickly falling overnight, falling back down into the 20s. 27 degrees is considered a hard freeze when it comes to your plants. And that's likely going to be the case on some of those roadways. So Joshua, the big concern really is going to be watching those temperatures for all this water refreezing on a lot of the roadways.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. We'll see you back here in a few minutes for your full forecast. Now on to your local headlines today. Students with Gonzaga's Black Student Union are now speaking out after their weekly meeting to engage with fellow classmates turned into a hostile, hate-filled environment. On Sunday, the BSU Zoom meeting was hijacked and students that were sharing their reactions now to the shocking displays of hatred.
And it was about like 8 people or more just started hurling racial slurs, homophobic slurs, and then
the university has pledged to investigate the situation as they work to identify who is responsible. Right now, Gonzaga officials are still in the beginning stages of their investigation. The Washington State Board of Health will investigate complaints filed against Spokane Health Administrator Amelia Clark. This comes after the firing of Spokane Regional Health Officer Dr. Bob Lutz. Now, Dr. Lutz himself actually sits on this board, but did not participate in Monday's board meeting. The board also decided to hire an independent investigator for the issue.
I think that for the community, it's important to get our best sense of transparency here in terms of what really happened. The only way I think, and the only group that can make that happen right now in an independent manner is the State Board of Health.
Now, during the meeting, several members shared concerns about the structure of local health districts and the extent to which politics can weigh on public health decision making. We are also following a major update this afternoon in the murder of a 19-year-old Newport teen, Jason Fox. Today, 5 people could face charges for his death. Our Morgan Trow spoke exclusively with Fox's family to tell us about the impact of their loss.
After 2 months of waiting and wondering, the Fox family got word that 5 men were arrested, accused in the murder of their son, Jason. The Newport teen vanished in mid-September.
It's real nice to see the guys that hurt my son behind bars.
Michael's son was found in a shallow grave with his arms tied behind his back on the property that these men were staying in. Today, the grieving parents went to the court hearing for suspects Kevin Belding, Matthew Raddatz-Freeman, and Claude Merritt.
Honestly, I don't want to see Riley because it was hard enough today. But seeing him, it's going to be a whole other story.
In court documents, Riley Hillstad is described as the ringleader who orchestrated the murder. He has not yet been formally charged because he refused to leave his jail cell for the first appearance today. But authorities say he will be in court tomorrow, no matter what. As for Belding, Raddatz-Freeman, and Merritt, a judge set their bond at $750,000. They're each charged with first-degree murder and second-degree kidnapping. Hillstad's booking charges includes those and 4 other, including unlawful disposal of remains.
Well, I would have liked to thought, a life is worth a little more than $750,000, but they're all going to jail one way or another. I don't get my kid for Thanksgiving and Christmas, so that guy shouldn't get his kid either.
Now that it is sort of finalized with people in the court being held accountable, do you think this will allow your family to heal?
Yeah, it's gonna make it better. I mean, we'll never, I'll never be accepting of the empty chair at the table.
The family believes more people will be arrested in the coming days. Already, after today's appearances, another man, Sean Bella, was charged with providing false statements to police. Reporting in Newport, Morgan Trow, KREM 2 News.
Thank you, Morgan. Today, several people are in quarantine due to a coronavirus outbreak at a Spokane shelter. Contact tracers report 17 cases at Family Promise Open Doors facility. Open Doors is now an isolated quarantine facility, and only confirmed positive guests will be admitted. Guests who test negative will be transferred to other facilities. Big news today in the fight against the coronavirus. The FDA has authorized emergency use of an experimental Eli Lilly antibody treatment. That treatment is similar to the treatment that President Trump received after his COVID-19 diagnosis several weeks ago.